Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to VidaneTV. Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth for one of the biggest TCM races we have all season, the TCM Showcase. Just about ready to get everybody lined up throughout the entirety of the field. Here you can see we're already lined up 2 by 2 all the way through, getting ready to rock and roll here at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. We'll take a look quickly on how they lined up, pre-qualified for this one. Ryan Messer, Tan Woldridge on the front row in the 1 and the 56. As we get on through the field here, there's no Fougere, Riley Duncan in the Crispus colors in the 97 car. Great paint scheme there for the easy clean there. There's Craig Tully in the number 50, Telco Electric Ride, the 25, and Nicholas Farrell there on the outside, Bear P6. Regan McCauley in the 64 car going to roll off P7. Brandon Langell going to roll off P8, the number 26 Coldstream car. Number 2 of Ashton Tucker going to roll off P9 with Dylan Black in the 0 car, rounding out the top 10 as we cycle on through the field there. There's Brett Byron in the 22 car. The 52 of Riley Frost going to roll off P12. J.J. McRae in the 13th position. Colton Evernham in the 14th spot. As we cycle on through, new colors for Ricky Miller, the number 17 Barbie car. As you can see, the lights are off for the iRacing pace car. 17th and 18th position on your screen, getting through the top 20. There's Justin Collison, Dave Cassidy, as we take the green flag for Ryan Messer. We are underway here at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. Over 200 laps on the docket here this evening. And it is going to be a slobber knocker. Going to be a lot of fun here tonight as we get after it for 274 laps on the docket. One of the longer races here in the Tim's Corner Motorsports iRacing schedule. And this is one of those tricky tracks. We were talking before the race came on the air, before the show came on the air. This is going to be one of the more difficult tracks to try and learn what goes down. Ryan Messer, quick time, 6:46, not quite as quick as they were running in practice. And a lot of times we've noticed as these runs get longer and longer, the tires start to get worn out just a bit. These guys are able to pick up some lap times. There you can see another quick time for Messer once again. You got a feeling we're going to see that purple notification multiple times throughout this event as these guys get, they kind of lighten up that fuel load in the back portion of the car, and they get everything kind of running more and more smoothly. They get used to the way the weight shifts in the race car. You can see the front 12 or so pretty much single file throughout the field. Little side-by-side action a little bit further on back. You can see Riley Duncan up in the 97 car, P3. Going to take a look, but we're going to go under caution for the first time, it looks like, for that 28 car. And we will back that up on the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. Find out exactly what went down. Looks like some side-by-side racing between he and the 48. Everything looking A-okay there so far. And you can see just getting a little bit loose down on the bottom side is that 17 of Ricky Miller. Gathers back up. Everything looking good. Get it back up to full song here. We'll see if we can spot the issue. There you can see that's the 28 car off the pace already. Down on the bottom side. But it looks like he was able to grab a gear and get going once again. So good news there. Could have been a whole lot worse. Could have been a whole lot better. But here we are. Ready to rock and roll rock and or roll once again here at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. Live on the YouTube. Be sure to give us a like, a subscribe, a share, a follow, all that good stuff over on the YouTube. Getting real close to 1,000 subscribers. Got over 650 live shows over on that YouTube page. So appreciate everybody tuning in over on the YouTube. Apologize, we're having some issues with that Facebook Live, just giving us some issues here, as was Twitch, which usually we are able to get on that with no problems. But for one reason or another, decided not to work here tonight. So we are exclusive on YouTube, and that actually makes it a little bit easier to keep up with the chat, only having one window open rather than the usual 4, 5, 6, 7, lots of different chat windows open when we take over the internet. So let us know where you're watching from, who you're pulling for, what your DoorDash order might be, because Vidane.tv/DoorDash. Oh yeah, just because we're only on YouTube doesn't mean we're not going to save you a couple of bucks. Be sure to shoot on over to VidaneTV/DoorDash. Save $8 off your first 4 orders under a new account. Pace car down in the safety of pit road once again. Bit of a slide there from the 3rd place Riley Duncan. Going to tuck back into the tire tracks of Tanton Wooldridge in that 56 car. Ryan Messer able to pull away those front 2. Able to get single file there side by side for that 3rd position. No Fougere holding on to it in that 36 car, or trying to get, rather than 97 holding on to it, as the 36 trying to take it away on the high side. There's Messer dropping down into the 5.5 second bracket, and you can see throughout the field we are essentially single file for the front handful of cars, front dozen or so. A little bit further on back there, you can see that 2 car of Ashton Tucker taking a peek down low underneath Nicholas Farrell in the 25 right up in front of him, and nothing quite there. Going to tuck in to the tire tracks. You can see a couple of drivers getting up into the outside wall. It looks like Tully in the number 50 Tilco Electric ride got up there, gave it just a quick little brush. Got an email from the boss man. Oh, trouble for the 26. The Coldstream car is around. Brandon Landry going to bring in the caution flag here on lap number 15. Caution. Yellow, yellow. Back it up on the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. It's right behind the group we were just watching there. You can see the 2 of Ashton Tucker right up in front of him. Taking a peek at it in slow motion. Looks like he just got off the pace just a little bit, and Dylan Black had nowhere to go but into the back of him. Sent him on a round back up into traffic. Gets everything woed back up. A little bit of damage on the front of the 26 car. But all in all, not all too bad. Going to have to restart towards the back of the pack with Ryan Messer still up front. Had him a win in the NEP Series this past week, this past Thursday, as a matter of fact, and a podium last Sunday in the Hallahan 333 at the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. And speaking of the boss man, Tim Terry jumping on into the booth. Tim, how we doing?
So far, so good. By the way, for those that are keeping score, that is a tap on the 08 of Dylan Black. That makes our job a lot easier, so Dylan will go to the back of the field for that. Want to send a special our condolences, our thoughts out. We've had a terrible week when it comes to maritime racing and the community that we're in. Obviously, we are running 24 extra laps tonight in memory of Steve Ross. If you're with us tomorrow night on Tim's Corner Live, we are dedicating our show to Steve Ross. We've got 3-time Pro Stock Tour champion Craig Slonwhite, Mason Motorsports, Jordan Vino is going to join us, Brian Northrop. We're going to be here telling stories tomorrow night on the Tim's Corner Facebook page. Also want to send a special our thoughts and prayers out to the family of Luke Richardson, Margie Reed, and Charles Poole, who've all passed away the last day or so. We're thinking of y'all. We're going to put on a show tonight, and hopefully these guys can put on a green flag run, and I don't hit the caution button early like I just did on caution number 1. Paul, we're in for a good show here.
Indeed, we are. Lights are off. The iRacing pace car down to the safety of pit road once again. We turn them loose. Great restart once again for Messer in that 1 car. We make the joke each and every time we see that black and white number 1 car here on VidaneTV. That's our Iron Man. He wins just about everything here on VidaneTV. He's in just about every league we've worked with in our entirety here in the 6th year here at VidaneTV, and he's won in each and every single one of those leagues. He's won that recently as well. Got the championship there for the RBR Season 8 championship. He beat the kid right in behind him, Tanton Wooldridge, there in second in that 56 car, and you can see Craig Tully in the top 5 in that number 50 Tilco Electric. Got that email from Mr. Tully a couple of days ago, looking like we are going to be seeing Season 9 for the RBR Maritime Group here in VidaneTV. They're going to be working on that schedule, looking for some partners for that series as well. So slide in our DMs, slide in their DMs, and we can make a little magic happen with some of the most brand loyal fans in the history of racing. I told everybody before we came on the air I was going to give this guy some extra TV time, and I think Ricky knew exactly what he was talking about with that number 17 Barbie car. Not only is that a hot pink Barbie car, that's a good-looking paint scheme. Not even gonna lie. I definitely think we could smash the colors around with that. We can make some artwork with that. But Ricky Miller having a solid run there in the Barbie car, running P13 right now in the 17 car. Justin Collison in the number 12 beautiful orange and blue paint scheme. Wanted to make sure we had the new wrap hooked up on the 12 car. Currently running P12 right behind Dave Cassidy in the Budweiser number 13. Haven't talked about Cassidy too much here this evening. Just outside the top 10. Trying to get around Brandon Campbell in the 9s. He's holding on to P10 right now. A little bit of breathing room around him in front of and behind. You can see he's kind of tucked into the tire tracks of the 48 right up in front of him. And you can see just kind of conveyor belt action right now with 2:47 to go here as they cross the stripe. Colton Evernham holding on to that 9th spot, drifting back from J.J. McRae just a bit in the 78. Ashton Tucker right there in the 2 as well. And you can see it's a bit of a gap between he and Nicholas Farrell, the 25 car. He's got to close him back up to Craig Tully in that 5th position, trying to make a little magic happen. And Tully's had himself a pretty solid run so far here tonight. Fougere been up in the top 5 in the 36 car, holding on to 4th right now, but he has a mirror full of that number 50 Toco Electric, and you can see that red machine of Nicholas Farrell starting to move in there as well. A little side-by-side action further on back, just outside the top 10. It looks like there's Miller in the 17 car, currently 13th, just in front of this battle. He's going to get underneath the 12 of Collison. These guys duking it out, though, for 14th, 15th, and 16th. As you can see, the 28 down at the bottom side. There's Riley Frost in the 52. Trying to make that high side work. Trying to get the car to kind of stick up in that middle to high groove. Not quite able to complete the pass, but able to at least hold on for the time being. It's opening up the door, though, for that 22 car of Brett Byron right in behind him as he's trying to close the gap and move himself just a little bit closer to that top 10. You can see Danny Vitch in that Major Melon Mountain Dew number 29 car, one of the loudest paint schemes we've got here on VidaneTV. Can't really say that now because, I mean, I think Ricky Miller's got him beat. That Barbie car is pretty loud in the number 17. There's the 15 of Martin Landry right in behind him. Got a couple of wild wrecks in practice in the 15 car, but he was able to get that thing back out there. The 29 right in behind him. It's Regan McCauley. Brandon Langell, big wreck for the 26 car. You can see he has some damage there on the right front, but able to hold on to it. Dylan Black after the tap out in that last caution in the 8 car still, or check that, the O car. Holding on tough. Jake Goodwin, Scott Negus, and Dave Horton rounding out the 24 car field. Still all 24 starters on the lead lap here this evening. All chasing down Ryan Messler up front. 2:38 to go here in this one. You can see just how single file these drivers are able to get themselves. Once they kind of get into a rhythm here, they're really able to log off laps. We'll ride on board here with Tanton Woldridge, bright orange gloves. You can see exactly what he's doing here. Nice and smooth on the wheel, getting into the corner, coming off of the corner here as well. And you can listen to the throttle input as well. Just really kind of easing into it. You're only on it hard for about a second, maybe 2, down the middle of the end of the back straightaway, and then you're right back off it on the brakes, setting the weight in the front of that car, making sure that thing turns. You can see Tan Woldridge right in the tire tracks here of Ryan Messer, running almost an identical line. Not really able not gaining, not really losing any time, but just kind of doing his homework right now. He's trying to see where Messer is quicker, where he's slower, where he could potentially get on around him, and all the time being, he's got the 97 car in behind him of Riley Duncan, doing the exact same thing. Beautiful paint scheme on that Duncan ride. He's got the Christmas lights still hooked up on it. And he is running in at the 3rd position. And just taking a look at the lap times, running about a half second slower here, 42 laps in on this run. So that's going to be something these guys are going to want to keep an eye on as well. We saw a lot of different tire strategies at the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway this past Sunday for the Hallahan 333. A lot of 2-tire stops, a lot of no-tire stops, kind of cycling on through the field. As we have 231 laps to go here for Ryan Messer, starting to come up in lap traffic early on in this one. And that's not to say that anybody's really running slow here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Just Messer really has this place figured out, as does Tanton Woldridge, Riley Duncan. You can see they're right in behind and in the tire tracks, not too far off the pace. Noah Fougere, Craig Tully up in the top 5 as they run here as well. Kind of jumping through the field, everybody relatively single file throughout this one. No Fougere, though, in the 36. Might have had a connection issue. Kind of fell through timing and scoring there, but regained a spot back into the 4th position. Great angle there from the speed shot. 97 to Duncan, going to try and take a peek up top in that middle groove, see if he can get around Tanton Woldridge. Going to think better of it, tuck into the tire tracks once again. Took a peek down low, nothing quite there, so you can see he's really able to get to the back bumper of Tanton Woldridge, but not really able to do anything with them there. You can see heavy traffic now up in front of Ryan Messer in that one car. 227, 226 laps to go once they get to the stripe. Sliding on by Dave Horton in the 73 car, going down a lap. You can see the 29 of Regan McCauley, Martin Landry in the 15, Dylan Black, all in danger of going a lap down. Scott Negus is up in that group as well. You can see those lap cars going all the way up to the high side, getting out of the way. They don't want to be part of the outcome of this race. They don't want to mess up the outcome of this race by getting tangled up with the leaders. So they're going to try and get up out of the groove, out of the way as much as they can. As you can see, the 15 goes down or up and on the outside as the caution flag going to fly once again here at Hickory. See if we got the button hooked up right. Doesn't look like it because it didn't slow down. But in any sense, we will take a look at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. Looks like it dropped us back 30 seconds, but it didn't slow it down. And that's where, ooh, big bump. Big bump there for Dave Horton. And that is a scary, scary hit in the sim racing world. You can see he was up high, got into the outside wall just a little bit, tapped into Noah Fougere. Fougere misses the wall there. Big hit, though, for the 73. You can see he's going to retire down to pit road. He is more than likely done in that 73 car. And that's going to open up pit road. Lots of drivers coming down pit road. You can see there's at least half a dozen, 8, maybe 10 drivers or so. Everybody else going to elect to stay out here on 53-lap tires. Looks like it might have just been fuel only for Collison in the 12. There goes the 24 car down and away. Everybody else still on pit road. They're going to lose a lap. Even a 2-tire stop there for, I believe that's the 28. It's going to be the pole sitter. Nope, it's going to be a 4-tire stop. Handful of drivers towards the back. You can see the 73 of Horton is still parked there. Down goes the 28. He's going to lose at least a lap here in this one to the leader, Ryan Messer, and everybody else in the field coming around to 220 laps to go once they get to the stripe. Green, green, green here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Another great jump there for Ryan Messer in the 1 car, able to pull away from Tanton Woldridge. Riley Duncan doing everything he can to get to the bottom side, try and get around Tanton Woldridge because he knows once we get into these long green flag runs, it's going to be tough to get that momentum. Big bump there from Fougere to the back bumper of the 50 car. The 25 car going to be pointed in the wrong direction. As the caution flag flies, there's Collison pointing in the wrong direction. The 26 off the pace there as well. See if we can back up the U-House Racing Design instant replay and find out exactly what went down. There you can see everybody kind of jamming back up. Everything looked okay that turn. This is where it gets a little bit wonky, a little bit sliding back, and just kind of an accordion effect. Handful of drivers mid-pack on back getting involved in that as well. Could have been a lot bigger, could have been a lot worse as well. So caution flag flies, 2:16 left to go. 203 laps to go here at Hickory Motor Speedway. You were enjoying some of the sights and sound here of the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway as I went outside to grab my DoorDash order from Pete. Shout out to Pete, hooking us up, tonight's DoorDash driver. Whew, I'm out of shape. Shoot on over to VidaneTV/DoorDash. Get $8 off your first 4 orders. We will indeed hook you up. Ryan Messer still out front with a commanding lead over that 56 car of Tanton Woldridge. This same old song and dance, it seems like, for that one and that 56 duo. They run very well together, especially in these late models. You can see Riley Duncan in the 97 there, trying to get up to that second spot, let alone take it over. I believe that's going to be 2 different tasks entirely. And you can see Craig Tully currently holding on to the 4 car. A little slide a couple of laps ago, but holds on to it. No Fougere there in the 36. JJ McRae in the 78 having a solid run. P6 right now. Brett Byron in the 22 there in 7th. Dylan Black, really Ricky Miller, and Scott Negus currently the top 10. Martin Landry outside looking in that number 15 car. He is running P11. Riley Frost in the 52, P12. Dave Cassidy and the Budweiser number 13 right in front of the Major Melon Mountain Dew ride. There's the number 29 of Danny Vitch. A couple of lap cars up in there, the 25 and the 26. They've got, looks like, fresher tires on those 2 machines. So Langell and Farrell trying to get on through, as is the 99, who is back here. There he is. A little bit further back. A little nose damage on the 9s, but he is doing what he can to try and get up towards the lead lap there. Brandon Langell in the 26 car, the only car 2 laps down. Ashton Tucker, Dave Horton, the only drivers down in the garage area, watching from home, or watching from the pit area, as it were. And you can see Messer getting up in some lap traffic once again. Ryan Messer in the number 1 car. Going to take a look down underneath the 24 of Jake Goodwin. Going to put him a first lap down. 18 cars still on the lead lap of the 24 qualifiers. Pre-qualified in here to the showcase here. It's kind of the Super Bowl here with Tim's Corner Motorsports, capping off the iRacing season and getting ready to essentially kick off the real racing season. It's crazy to think that we're already heading to various different racetracks here in the upcoming weeks. I know Tim and I have been chatting back and forth. He and I will be meeting up down in Auburndale for some Legends car racing, some Bandoleros and such here in a couple of weeks. Going to hang out with Wes Hogue or Cole Bohannon, depending on which Facebook you're going to be looking at. They're racing tonight as well in the Liberty Racing League Super Speedway Series. I'm probably going to try and catch the end of that race. Got a couple buddies running in that race. We've got the big 20-year anniversary coming up here on January 27th. And it's going to be a lot of fun. 20 years for Verdane Racing as we do this sim racing deal. Tan Woldridge having a little bit more now of a challenge from Riley Duncan in that number 97 car. You can see he's getting right up to that back bumper and just not quite able to see. There you can see the white driving gloves there as we run on board with Riley Duncan. And again, you can hear that throttle. He's way off the throttle halfway down, really trying to get that car to set. He's really turning it down the hill, trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack, waiting for Tanton Woldridge to make a mistake. But you might be waiting for a very long time, because we very seldomly see guys like Ryan Messer, Tanton Woldridge make a mistake. But if it does happen between those 1 or 2 drivers up in the top 2 spots, Riley Duncan is there to take advantage. That 97 car looking pretty frosty. He's got Craig Tully right in behind him. Noah Fougere holding on to that 5th spot. Looks like Brett Byron going to move up to 6th. Riley Duncan in the 52 car making some moves, trying to get around the 15 of Martin Landry for the 11th spot. 25 car trying to get one of those laps back is Nicholas Farrell. First car 1 lap down. He's actually trying to find the 24 car to get up around and become the first car 1 lap down. As you can see, that's actually going to be the 29 car now. Regan McCauley goes a lap down to the current leader, Ryan Messer. You can see he's going to move up the high side of the racetrack, let the lead lap cars go on by. 184, 183 laps to go that time by. Ryan Messer all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack, kind of utilizing that Stafford line, as it were, getting the car to de-wedge and kind of turn itself just a little bit. And you can see it's doing what he needs it to do. Pulling away from Tant Woldridge, almost a full second lead from first on back to second rather. Coming up now on the 28 car. Still recovering from the flu here in the VidaneTV HQ. I think it was the flu. Whatever it was gnarly. Trying to catch all the hiccups and the coughs and the sneezes, but every once in a while one will sneak through, so I do apologize for that. Appreciate everybody bearing with me here over the past, what seems like 2 weeks. After that New Year's Eve party, flying home from Daytona, hanging out with a bunch of folks I don't normally hang out with, getting a little bit of the sickness. It's been a rough go about a week or two, but yeah, you know what? We're entertaining the masses as we were just beforehand. 178 laps to go. Ryan Messer still out front. You can see he just got around the 28 car to put him a lap down. 16 drivers on the lead lap. Last one being that 16th place driver, the number 12 of Justin Collison. And he is you just saw a flash of that blue up on your screen. So about a quarter of a lap or so before Ryan Messer catches up to the back bumper of that number 12 car. And you can see all in the meantime, as Messer's getting around this lap traffic, he's still pulling away. The 28 car going to pull down to pit road. I believe that's an unscheduled pit stop there for Doug Murray. But 100 laps on the board. And I got a feeling this is when we're going to start to see some pit stops, potentially. Not entirely sure. I believe we're running full fuel tanks in these super late models. And I'm not entirely sure what the pit window is, but I know a lot of times these drivers will try and split this race into 2 segments. If they know they can make it the first half, they know they'll be able to make it in the second half. But the other thing to keep in mind is those fresh tires. Very curious to see what that 28 car is going to be able to do with those fresh tires, because as we're looking right now, last time by, Ryan Messer, our leader, ran a 15.3. His best lap is a 14.5, almost a full second slower on these tires 100 laps into a run. So these drivers are going to be paying attention to that coming into the end of the race as well. They've got a couple of sets of stickers down on pit road. Going to be a wonder if they take them early on or if they're going to try and save them for towards the end. Lots of lap traffic coming up for the one car. You can see half a dozen or so cars up in front. 170 laps to go. There's those bright white gloves there for the leader, Ryan Messer. 15.3 last time by, so he picked it up just a little bit. And you can see he closed the gap, got right up to that back bumper, kind of picking up a little bit of the slipstream here with the drivers in front of him. And the 15 car there, Martin Landry, going to try and sort things out. He's going to move up to the middle groove just a little bit. These drivers, they're racing for position, but they're also racing for a spot on the lead lap. So going to be difficult to try and stay on the lead lap, but also hold on to that position when you've got a strong charger like Ryan Messer coming up after you. And you can see got a little bit of a bump there, it looked like. Got a little loose in the one car. Still 1.2 seconds the lead over Tant Woldridge in the number 56 car. A little bit further on back there you see him. He still has a mirror full of the 97 at Duncan trying to get up into the mix. But right now, everybody's still chasing that number 1 car as he deals with a little bit heavier lap traffic than we're used to here. Collison trying to take a peek down low on the 48 to try and get that position. Collison trying to get around Evernham. All in the meantime, trying to stay in front of the leader to stay on the lead lap. Ryan Messer all over the back bumper now of the 48 car. He knows he's quicker. He's trying to bide his time, trying to get around, but he knows he doesn't have much time. 48 up into the outside wall. Pretty hard lick for the 48 car of Evernham. Gonna sort it all out. Gonna get single file. The one car now gonna tuck into the tire track of Collison in that number 12. You can see Danny Vitch right up in front. The Major Melon Mountain Dew number 29 car. One of the loudest paint schemes we've got here on VidaneTV. He's in danger of potentially going a lap down if we stay green. 112 laps into this run. Well, not so much this run, but since these drivers came down a pit road, top 13 drivers have all stayed out. They are on the original set of tires that they started this thing with. Handful of drivers a little bit further on back. We made mention about the lap times. It doesn't seem like it's really fixing the lap times too much. Justin Collison in the 12th car came down for a fresh set of tires. Still ran a 15.4 last time by, which is exactly the lap time that the leader ran. So you can see Collison very quick in that number 12 car, but Ryan Messer just a little bit quicker all over the back bumper now of that number 12. He's trying to get up around him, but Collison doing everything in his power to try and stay on the lead lap and potentially gain a couple of spots from the 29 right up in front of him as the both of the 29s up in front of him. How about that? A pair of 29s in front of the 12 and in front of the leader. Meanwhile, as this is going on, second place starting to close the gap in a big way as Messer, the leader, getting jammed up. There you can see second and third place, they're coming. Not able to get around the 12 car is Ryan Messer. You can see he got around the pair of 29s. They were able to move up out of the way, but Collison knows that he's trying to get himself a little TV time here on VidaneTV. He wants to race with the big dogs. A little bit of a slide from Messer in the one up into the outside wall. Gathers it back up, keeps going once again. Looking at that lead, though, it's been cut in about half. 0.6 of a second now the gap between first and second. And Messer's doing everything in his power to try and get around Collison in the number 12 car, but he just can't get there. It's almost like he gets to the back bumper of the number 12, upsets the one car, doesn't have enough to get around there. You can see Dave Cassidy going underneath the speed shot. He's the next car up in front of the 12 of Collison that could potentially go a lap down here. 13 still on the lead lap, and that does in fact include that blue and orange number 12 car of Collison. 155 laps to go, and we keep talking about the lap count. 121 laps on this run, on this set of tires, and we're about 30 laps from halfway. So these guys know that they're going to be able to make this race potentially on one stop, two different sets of tires, and you may very well have some guys come down on a late race caution and maybe throw two tires on or throw an extra set of stickers on late on in the evening, because we know about 40, 50 laps that these tires start to slow down, the cars start to slow down in a big way, but they don't quite have enough to really capitalize. As you can see, Messer doing everything he can to try and get around that 12 car without damaging his car. You can see he's going to try and take a peek. He has to go. Second and third are closing. 0.4 of a second is the gap now between first and second. Big slide for Collison in the number 12. Big slide that touches the leader side by side. Both cars pointed in the wrong direction. 45-degree slide. Messer going to complete the pass almost. He's going to try and slide on down in front of, and he does. Collison going to go one lap down. Ryan Messer finally able to get around the 12 car. 150 laps to go. Second and third are there. Are they going to have as much of an issue getting around Collison in that number 12 car as Ryan Messer did in the number 1? Tan Woldridge taking a peek up on the high side. He's going to try and get a little bit of a nudge there from Duncan in the 97, but there's not quite enough momentum for him to get there. There you can see the 12 car of Collison now going to drift up the track just a little bit. Tan Woldridge going to get down and around, as is the 97, going to follow him on through here. So big advantage goes to Tan Woldridge and Riley Duncan. They get past Justin Collison just a little bit quicker than Ryan Messer does. You can see he opened up the gap now, 5.5, almost 0.6 of a second between first and second, but it was over a second, a full second between first and the Tan Woldridge ride in the number 56 car, and you can see still a couple of cars up in the horizon. The 13 Budweiser ride of Dave Cassidy, the next car in danger of going a lap down to our leader, Ryan Messer. And let's ride on board with Ryan Messer here just to show kind of how cool and calm and collected he is behind the number 1 car. Still trying to chase down our leader. The one car of Ryan Messer has been on a bit of a tear lately in the one camp. Got himself a third place podium finish in the TCM Hallahan 333 last Sunday at the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway. Got himself a dub and a pole in the NEP race this past Thursday night on VidaneTV, and he's led just about all of the laps here tonight in the TCM Showcase. I believe he's won the Showcase once or twice before in the one car, and looking like he's going to be a contender at the end of this one. 137 laps to go here at the TCM Showcase, one of the biggest races here in Tim's Corner Motorsports iRacing schedule here, kind of wrapping things up in the iRacing world and getting ready to go to the real racing side of things. Tim Terry and myself talking before we came on air. Got some NX Legends Cars Bandolero stuff coming up in the state of Florida. We're going to be down in Auburndale. We'll be hanging out down there with the audio-visual crew, as we have so nonchalantly deemed ourselves. It's going to be a whole lot of fun in the state of Florida. You can see the 15 car going to go a lap down. Martin Landry actually going to go a second lap down to Ryan Messer in the one. Good shot of Fougere in at the 36 car. Holding on to a top 10 run per P7 right now. Closing into the back bumper of the 29 of Danny Vitch. Danny Vitch currently a lap down in the Major Mellon Mountain Dew number 29 ride. You can see still has speed in that car, but the track position and this thing going green for as long as it has, just not able to get that lap back. As you can see, the 36 is going to take a peek down on the bottom side, see if he can get on by. It looks like Scott Negus in the 55 is for position. Got the 52 O'Reilly Frost in behind him. It's about the best action on track right now, as we've got a long green flag run. It's getting late on this set of tires. 147 laps the distance for the top 10 at least. Probably 15 drivers or so that are out there on the original set of tires they started with 128 laps to go. So the good news is they're going to be able to come down and change those 4 tires and take a tank of fuel. The bad news is it's going to be a dilemma. Take a look at Craig Tully in the 50 car, currently P4. Dylan Black, JJ McRae, 5th and 6th. You can see Dylan Black in the O car right behind him. A couple of those lap cars kind of mixed in throughout. Dylan Black in the 08 car, still there in at the top 5. 126 laps to go, and as I was saying, these pit stops, they take a long time in these late models, especially on these short tracks. They aren't quite as quick as maybe a cup team or a truck team or anything like that. So a lot of these drivers may potentially lose a lap or two when they try and come down and take all 4 tires. So that's going to be something they're going to have to keep an eye on when those pit stops do in fact happen. There you can see this Barbie car going a lap down. Ricky Miller not quite having the run that he wanted, even though he's P11 right now. Ryan Messer just having himself a tear in that number 1 car, and once he was able to clear that lap traffic, he's able to pull away once again, 0.8 of a second lead over Riley Duncan, new second place driver, as he's moved up and around Stanton Woldridge in the 56, slid on back, and there's a bit of a gap now between second and third. Still about 0.8 of a second the gap between Ryan Messer and the new second place driver Riley Duncan in the 97. Tant Woolridge in third, Craig Tully fourth, Dylan Black currently in P5, JJ McRae, Riley Frost, Noel Fugier all the way back to 8th, Scott Negus in 9th, and Brett Byron going to be the 10 drivers that are on the lead lap. And that's not to say that we've got 24 drivers in the field that aren't capable of winning this thing. Ryan Messer was able to really put on some blistering lap times, as he's still running about a 15.5 second, 15.5. Usually looks like everybody's about in the 15.5s throughout the field. Here in this one, 118 to go, 117 once we cross the stripe. Thanks again for tuning in here. Usually we're all over the internet, having some issues in the old HQ here, so we are live on YouTube. Apologize for not having the Facebook or the Twitch stream up, but that's just how it seems to have been going here with the Facebook Live stuff. So we'll see how that works out here in the coming months. And getting down to the nitty-gritty here, 117 laps to go, 116 when they cross the stripe. Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. here in the broadcast booth. Once again, the TCM Showcase kicking things off here. And you can see there's Camp in the 99 getting ready to go a lap down to our leader, Ryan Messer. I'm trying to ride three things at once. Brandon Campbell getting ready to go a second lap down in that 99 car. And once again, not to say that the 99's slow, it's just the one's been super quick all day long. Yellow, 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 yellow. Brett Byron went in the wrong direction in the 22 car. That is a long green flag run. I already tell you right now, everybody's coming down pit road. Doesn't matter who or what or when. We'll take a look at what brought under caution, and we'll take a look at the pit stops here momentarily. Didn't look like anybody was around the 22. It looks like he slowed up. Might have been coming down to pits. I think that's what that was. I think the 22 was getting ready to come down pit road and had to slow up quick, and unfortunately came down, got a little, went in the wrong direction. Ooh, trouble for Duncan. Had to slide back and miss his spot there. He missed his pit stall entirely, it looks like. The 97 Riley Duncan, he's going to have to come back through. Oh, man, that is tragic. Going to lose a lot of track position in the number 97 camp. Unless he stays out, he's not going to be able to stay out. 164 laps on the tires. That 96 car going to have to come back out. Yeah, there he is. Oh, man. Tough, tough day. You can see he's going to come down to the pit stall. That is tough. He's going to have to get some tires there as well. Looks like Tant Woolridge is going to be the first driver off pit road. He gets around Ryan Messer. There's Messer pulling up in behind. The difference being, though, the box time for Tant Woolridge was 10.8 seconds. Ryan Messer was 21. So I don't know if that's 2 tires versus 4 tires. I don't know if that's no fuel versus fuel. There's a lot of different things there. And oh, by the way, there's a handful of drivers getting the wave by. So they're going to be back potentially on the lead lap. Timing and scoring is going to take a minute to uncollude itself. And there you can see these drivers side by side already. They want to get back at it with 109 laps to go. So it's going to be interesting to see. It looks like a 2-tire stop for the 56 of Woolridge, but it did, in fact, get him the lead. He's got 167 laps, though, on those right side tires. Everybody else in the top 5, Negus, Frost, and Collison, look like they may have taken 2 tires. Collison actually stayed out. He's been out there for 114 laps, so he gained a couple of spots. Dylan Black, Riley Duncan back to 7th after his pit stop. Brandon Campbell up to 8th. Brett Byron, the reason of the caution, he's 9th. JJ McRae going to be round out the top 10. And it looks like there's 8 drivers on the lead lap. Lights off, 2 by 2 all the way through. Here we go. Going to get the restart with 106 laps to go here at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. Tanton Woldridge chooses the bottom side of the racetrack. Ryan Messer up top. Scott Negus, Riley Frost, Justin Collison going to be the top 5 as the pace car dips down to the safety of pit road. Big wiggle there for Tanton Woldridge. Did not get the restart he needed. Ryan Messer shoots right on by the outside and takes over that lead spot. That might have been the only chance Tanton had to get around. It really might have been the only chance anybody had to try and get around Ryan Messer. Was on that restart side by side now for third as Tanton Woldridge tucks into the tire tracks of the new leader once again, Ryan Messer in the 1 car. Front 2 able to pull away by a lot. They've got about 0.8 of a second over third place. Beating and banging. Tanton Woldridge taking a peek down low. Nothing quite there. They think better of it. 103 to 102 to go once they get to the stripe next time by. And you can see Woldridge just really able to get to the back bumper of the 1, but not able to kind of capitalize and get all the way around or complete the pass. Here at the Virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. And you can see Woldridge starting to single file it out a little bit further on back throughout the top 5, throughout the top 10. Messer, Woldridge, the front 2, Frost, Negus, Black, as the caution flag flies once again here at Hickory. See if we can back that up on the U-House Racing Designs instant replay, find out what exactly went down. Potentially could have had something to do with that Major Melon Mountain Dew number 29 car. You can see as we kind of slow motion around, these guys are not all over the place, but they are definitely a little bit more squirrely than they were early on in the race. Everything looking okay throughout the yellow there, so not entirely sure what the caution flag was for, but 176 laps rather down. 99 laps to go. Ryan Messer still the leader up front. Lights off atop the pace car once again, lined up 2 by 2 all the way through. Messer again taking that bottom side on the restart. Tanton Woldridge going to be up top. Dylan Black, Scott Negus, Riley Duncan, the top 5. That 97 car very, very quick. Had some troubles down on pit road, but is able to gather it back up. Greg Tully pointed in the wrong direction in a big way on that start, as was Collison in the 12. A little bit further on back, though, we stay green. With 96 laps to go, you can see once again the front 2 able to pull away. And Tanton Woldridge doing everything he can to get right up to the back bumper of that number 1 car. Nothing able to get around the outside or down underneath. Just kind of waiting for Messer to make a mistake. We've seen it happen a time or two before, and there's plenty of time to get it done here. 95, 94 laps to go that time by. Messer still out front. Woldridge right in his tire track, side by side. For third is Riley Duncan going to take over that third position. He slides up in front of Dylan Black in that Zero machine. Black now under pressure from the 55. Scott Negus trying to move up just a little bit further. Riley Frost in the 52 in behind him, trying to accordion this top 5 back up to those front 2 drivers. Tanton Woldridge trying everything he can to try and get around Messer. You saw that time by much higher on the racetrack, and he's been all evening long. Going to try a couple of different lines, couple of different ways around the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway and just basically going where Messer isn't on the racetrack to try and gain a little bit of grip or a little bit of time around this racetrack. You can see he's tried high, he's tried low, he's tried right in those tire tracks, and he can get right there. He gets right up to the back bumper, but doesn't seem to have enough right now to try and get up and around that number 1 car. Messer still holding on to the lead, 8 cars on the lead lap. Messer been blasting through the lap times here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Just came down pit road. Looks like both of those top 2 drivers, a lot of the drivers in the top 5 even, came down for 2 tires or fuel only under that last stop. So they'll be able to make it on fuel. There you saw Tanton had the best shot I think he's had all race long. Door was open, kicked the nose in just a little bit. Not enough of a run there. Going to tuck back in once again to the 1 car, but he's trying some things. Tanton Woldridge trying to wait for that door to open up there for the lead here with 86 laps to go at the stripe. Riding on board with the number 56 of Tanton Woldridge, doing everything he can. He's doing everything he can to try and get to that back bumper once again of the leader, Ryan Messer. You can see he is high, he is low, he's doing what he needs to get there, but just can't get around the number 1 of Messer. Very, very quick drivers here in the late models, as are they are on short tracks. Riley Duncan has some breathing room behind him. You can see it's a bit of a gap, about a second back to 3rd, then another 1.2 back to that battle for 4th. Dylan Black, Scott Negus kind of duking it out briefly. 52 of Frost is there. Brandon Campbell slowly working his way up close to the top 5. P7 right now for the pair of 9s. He's got the 22 of Brett Byron behind him. JJ McRae, Noah Fougere there as well. Craig Tully currently a lap down in the number 50 Tilco Electric ride. Saw him get pointed in the wrong direction 20 laps ago or so. No caution for that incident, so not quite able to catch up with that track position, unfortunately. Just up in front, you saw that battle between Ricky Miller, Colton Evernham, Jake Goodwin right in the mix. Fougere going to take a peek down low in the 36 car. On the 25, nothing quite there. Going to try and gather it back up and get after it once again. You can see he just gets right up to the back bumper, and we're seeing that throughout the field. These guys are able to really get to the back bumper of the driver in front of them, but they aren't quite able to get around and pass. And you can see it once again with our leaders. Tanton Woldridge closes right up to the 1. He gets there. You can almost put a sheet of paper between the rear bumper of the 1 car, Ryan Messer, and the front bumper of Tanton Woldridge. But he can't get around him. He can't get down on the bottom side. He can't get up around him on the high side as well. There's just not enough grip, it seems like, on the high side. 73 laps to go, though, is a long time here at Hickory Motor Speedway. And the lap time starting to show as these guys get further and further on into it. 25 going to slide into pit road. We stay green, 72 to go. And Riley Duncan, you saw, starting to close the gap once again. He's within a second of the leader. He's pulled away from Dylan Black. Look how quickly the 97 was able to close that gap on first and second. Down to 0.8 of a second now for Riley Duncan. Like he's got the red light on in the front of that thing on the Christmas lights. Old Rudolph's leading him through the charge. Got off another 10th that time by as he closes up just a little bit closer to the back bumper of Tanton Wooldridge. And those top two drivers coming up on some lap traffic once again. Kind of been the story of the evening. Messer doing a great job getting through and navigating this lap traffic. Again, had himself a podium finish here in the super late models at Bristol last Sunday night in the Hallahan 333. Got himself a win in the trucks here this past Thursday on VidaneTV in the NEP series. Won that from the pole. Started on a pole here tonight. And once again, live over on the YouTube page here this evening. Be sure to give us the like, the share, the subscribe. Helps us out in a big way. Let your friends and family know that there's 68 laps, 67 laps to go here at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. You're watching a little short track action here on VidaneTV. Lots of cool stuff going on in the iRacing world here in the next couple of months, as well as the real racing world. And we're going to be bridging the gap as we get into the warmer months, heading on down south to places that are much warmer than they are here. It is rather chilly here in southern New England, Connecticut, as it were. Cold and rainy, lots of wind, and there's 56 taking a peek on the high side. Bit of a shot there, nothing too crazy. Still staying on that high side though. Gonna breathe it down on the bottom side, nothing quite there. Gonna close the gap, close the gap. Oh, by the way, there's the 97 of Riley Duncan. 7/10 of a second, 6.5 tenths that time by. And you can see the one and the 56 are running a line that's a little bit lower than the 97. You can see as he comes into the frame on the right side of your screen, the 97's up the track about a half a car width or two when he gets around this racetrack. There you see Messer's going to slide up a little bit and try it out. 15 off the pace just a little bit there in front of the leaders. It's going to be Landry. Currently 3 laps down in the 15 car. Not quite the night he was looking for. But you can see the rest of the field right up in front of Landry in the 15 car as well. So more drivers in danger of going a lap down. Ooh, Tanton's going to try and catch Messer off guard. He's going to open up the door on the bottom side for the first time in a long time. Nothing quite there. The 56 tucks back in. Once again, the 15 going to go high for the 97 of Duncan. Didn't quite look like it was as easy of a pass-through as it was for the 1 and 56. There you go. 97 gets down and through. This is going to get interesting, though. There are a half a dozen cars up in front of the leader. It's going to be interesting if these guys are going to be able to get down and around without any kind of issues. We'll ride on board with the second-place driver, Tanton Wooldridge. A little bit of a hiccup and a slide there for Messer in the 1 car, but they still keep pointed in the right direction. Wooldridge really sawing on the wheel, those bright orange driver gloves, putting in the work. You can see just how much they're gaining on the 29 car, the Major Melon Mountain Dew car, right up in front of the leader, Ryan Messer. Danny Vitch already a lap down, 2 laps down, getting ready to go a 3rd lap down here as well. There you see Dave Cassidy in the Budweiser number 13. I believe that's Craig Tully in the Tolco Electric number 50 car. Ryan Messer gets down on the bottom side, a little loose there for the 1. He's going to get down and underneath, and he knows that he needs to be right on the back bumper when these closing laps, just in case Ryan Messer in the 1 car makes a mistake getting through this lap traffic. There you see the 13 Budweiser ride of Dave Cassidy going to go up into the outside line, let these lead drivers by. Duncan gets by in the 97 car, setting the sights now on that bright yellow ride. Greg Tully in the 50 Silco Electric car got involved in an earlier incident, didn't get the caution flag, unfortunately lost a whole bunch of track position and a lap, but very quick in that 50 car. Excited to report that we did here. We are going to be getting a season 9 for the RBR Maritime group. That should be kicking off here in the next month or so on VidaneTV. Very excited to have those guys back. And it'll be great to see these guys duke it out for a championship. Once again, Ryan Messer and Tanton Woldridge came down to a tiebreaker in the last race of the RBR Maritime Group and ended up having to run an extra race because of some Wi-Fi issues, and Ryan Messer was able to drive away with that championship. But it was great to see that these guys are kind of the cream of the crop here in the super late models here in the iRacing World Top 5 as they run. You see the top two, Ryan Messer, Tanton Woldridge, just Riley Duncan driving into the screen. They're on the podium right now. Dylan Black, Riley Frost, the top 5 as they run. Scott Negus, Brett Byron, Brandon Campbell, J.J. McRae, and Noel Fouchier, the top 10 rather, as they run. Colton Everham, Ricky Miller on the outside looking in. Just past 50 laps to go. It is getting squirrely up in front of our leaders. The whole crew is there. One car currently the leader. Everybody else in danger of going 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 laps down. This is going to get interesting with 48 laps to go if we don't get a caution. That is not what you want to see when you are the leader and you've got a quick car in behind, especially when they start wrecking like that. Caution flag gonna fly. That could have been a whole lot worse. Ricky Miller excited in the 17 Barbie machine. He's gonna stay 1 lap down as we'll pull up the U.S. Racing Designs instant replay. 65 laps or so since the last time these guys came down. You might see some of the guys in the back come down for tires, but take a look at the U.S. Racing Designs. This is right in front of our leaders. There you see the top 2 as they get on through there. And there is the incident that brought us out. A little bit of contact between those 3 drivers. Big time wiggle there for Messer in the 1. But he holds on to it. There you see Tanton Woldridge is right there. So the top 3 able to hold on to it. Pit stops. This is huge. Leaders on pit road. Ryan Messer looks like he took 2 tires. No Fouchier down and away. A handful of drivers stayed out on track. Oh boy. Differing strategies here in the closing 50 laps. Ryan Messer going to come out of the pit road. It looks like P6. Potentially. As he did come down the leader. A couple of other drivers coming down and kind of cycling through pit roads. We'll see what goes on as we get down. Right now, Riley Duncan is currently scored as the leader. There you can see the 12 car up in front of him. He's going to try and get a lap back the hard way. And there he goes. Collison going to rejoin the lead lap. And we get lined up 2 by 2 once again. Riley Duncan is going to be the new leader down on the bottom side. It does show that he pitted this time, so Messer having some issues with the pit stop rather. There's the 17 of Miller. He's going to go around and get a lap back as the lights are back on the iRacing pace car. Are they off? They're off that time. So there you see it, 2 by 2 all the way through. 41 laps to go, 40 once we get to the stripe. Lights off on top of the iRacing pace car. Down on the bottom side, Riley Duncan. Up top, Tanton Woldridge. Ryan Messer, the master of the restarts, back on the 3rd row inside. Here we go. Closing laps of this one. Looks like both drivers up in the front may have spun the tires. They meet in the middle, door handle to door handle as they come out of turn number 2. Going to be a drag race as they get down into the back straightaway. Tanton Woldridge, slight advantage on the high side. Battle of the Cyan cars for the lead. The 56 doing everything he can to hold off Duncan. They are nose to nose as they duke it out. A little bit of contact there between the 97 and the 56, but they keep on trucking. Side by side into 1 and 2 once again. Slight advantage that time goes to the bottom of the 97 car, Riley Duncan. But just as I say that, here comes Tanton Woldridge fighting back from that middle groove on up. Same 2-tire strategy, it looks like, for these top 2 drivers. Taking a peek at the lap times, 11.2 and 12.4 between those 2 crews. So that tells me 2 tires for those two drivers. And there's the 97 sliding on through, completing the pass in front of the 56. Tanton Woolridge, though, going to take a peek down on the bottom side, try and keep that door open. But nothing there. Going to jump into the tire tracks for the time being. He's still trying to get some clean air on the nose of the 56 car. Nothing quite there, though. 56 still P2. Riley Duncan, he sees he's got that 12 car of Collison. He's got to make sure that he's going to try and utilize him as a blocker. The 56 of Tanton Woolridge, though, going to try and utilize him as a pick. You can see Tanton doing everything he can to try and make that bottom side open up. Can't quite get that car to grip as well as he'd like to. He gets right up to the door and unfortunately has to drop back in the second portion of the corners. You can see in 3 and 4, really able to send that thing in, but has to back up just a little bit, get back into the tire tracks of the 97. Coming to the stripe, 32 laps to go. They get a little bit closer now to that blue and orange ride of Justin Collison in the number 12. Tanton Woolridge still trying to take a peek down low. A little bit of a wiggle that time from Duncan in the 97 car, and that's what the 97 was worried about, using that lap car as a pick. They go 3 wide for the lead with the lap car. A little contact between Tanton and the 97 of Duncan, and the caution flag going to fly. I believe Woolridge was the leader. Greg Tully pointed in the wrong direction in the number 50 Tolco Electric. I think he might have gotten a little bit of contact with that big old tire there. Beginning entry there of pit road. See if we can take a peek. There you see, gets a shot from the 24. It gets it woed up just before slapping in to that great big tractor tire. So good news for the Tully camp. That could have been a whole lot worse. Could have been a lot better, but it could have been a lot worse as well. So getting down into the closing laps here, 246 in the books, 29 to go. Riley Duncan holding on to the lead. Tanton Woolridge in second. Ryan Messer, Dylan Black, Riley Frost going to be the top 5 as they run. Brett Byron, Scott Negus, Brandon Campbell, J.J. McRae, and Noel Fougier, the top 10. Fougier going to be the first driver 1 lap down. Check that. He's going to drive around the leader that time and get that lap back. So we'll have 10 drivers on the lead lap here at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. Pace car going to shoot on down to the safety of pit road once again. 26 laps to go at the stripe. Green flag flying once again. Right back where we left off with these top 2 beating and banging on each other. Oh, by the way, here comes Ryan Messer in that 1 car. Open the door down on the bottom side. You can see he is up to the door of Tanton Woolridge, but Tanton really able to use that high side. Able to hold on to second for now, but he's still trying to capitalize on the leader, trying to get around the 97 of Duncan. Going to kick the door open down to the bottom side, slide on up and make the pass, leaning on the leader just a little bit. Going to slide Duncan back to P3. Messer going to follow in through to that second position. New leader, though, the 56 of Tanton Woolridge with 24 laps to go, 23 that time by as they cross the stripe. And it's anybody's ball game here in the late goings of this one. Woolridge, Messer, Duncan, the top 5. Handful of drivers up to the outside wall that time by, but doesn't seem to slow anybody down. We stay clean, we stay green as these drivers rip around the virtual motor speedway. Oh, big time trouble. A little bit further on back in the pack, I do believe that's going to cause the caution flag, or is it? There it is. 12 car of Collison pointed in the wrong direction and missing some sheet metal. Pardon me, as it were. And looks like might have got a little help. Just a couple of drivers going for the same piece of real estate, and unfortunately getting a little bit tore up. Missing some fenders. He's going to come down to the attention of the crew. May lose a third lap here as the pace car going to drive on down the front straightaway. They'll see if they can get that thing rocking and rolling once again. Ricky Miller in the 17 car going to drive on by, get that free pass, give us 11 cars on the lead lap. Tanton Woldridge up front, Ryan Messer, Riley Duncan the top 3, Dylan Black, Brett Byron the top 5. Less than 20 laps to go. You can probably order your DoorDash right now, and it'll be here by the time we get wrapped up in victory lane. www.vidane.tv/DoorDash. Get $4 off your first 4 orders in your new DoorDash account, courtesy of VidaneTV. Great to have DoorDash on board. They sponsor victory lane here for us, and it's great to have them on board. As we're lined up 2 by 2 once again, lights off in the iRacing pace car. Going to get the green flag with 17 laps to go. Good start for the top 3. Great start for Woldridge in the 56. Tried to slide on up. Byron in the 22 car around. Caution going to fly. Grabs a gear, gets spun on around. Byron in the 22 car going to lose a bunch of track position. As we back up, U-House Racing Designs instant replay. You saw that 22 car was up in the top 5. Gets into the back of Dylan Black as he checks up. Just kind of loses the back end of the race car. The rest of the field does a great job getting on by without any further contact, especially being right up in the racing groove like that. So could have been a whole lot worse. Tan Woldridge up front. Ryan Messer in second. Riley Duncan, Dylan Black, Riley Frost, the top 5. Brandon Campbell, Noah Fougere, Scott Negus, Ricky Miller, and Brett Byron, the top 10. Looks like the 48 of Colton Everingham going to be the first driver to get the wave around. There you see he's going to drive around and be on the lead lap once again. Lights off on the pace car down to the safety of pit road once again. Great restart for the 56. Tanton Woldridge driving off into the sunset after that one. Riley Duncan trying to take a peek down low on Ryan Messer. Messer making the high side work and hold on to P2, but for how long? Duncan going to slide up the racetrack just a little bit. He opens that back door to 4th, but nobody able to capitalize on that spot. 11 to go for Tanton Woldridge in the 56. Has himself a mirrorful of the number 1 Orion Messer as they come to the line. 10 laps to go here in the TCM Showcase. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We're on the YouTube here tonight. Be sure to give us a like, a subscribe, a share, a follow, all that good stuff. Let your friends and family know you're missing some short track racing here in the iRacing service on VidaneTV. Tanton Woldridge betters the Messer lap time by 4/100ths of a second. You can see he's able to pull away now, 0.3 of a second lead. The 56 has over the 1 car. Riley Duncan is there in 3rd, just in case either one of these 2 drivers makes themselves a mistake. You can see the front 3 have pulled away by a little bit. 4th on back. They've got it pretty much single file little side-by-side further on back in the pack, but they are doing everything they can to try and reel in these top three. I don't think anyone's going to have time, though, to get there. I don't think you're going to have enough time for the one car to get back to Tanton Wooldridge. He knows he's been out on track for 37, 38 laps, almost 40 laps on those two tires on the right-hand side, and he looks in the rearview mirror. He's able to see that Messer's starting to get challenged now by Riley Duncan in the 97 car for that second spot, and Tanton able to drive away as he gets the high five from Barney up in the flag stand. 5 laps to go here at the virtual Hickory Motors Speedway. The 56 trying to drive off into the sunset. 0.6 of a second lead now over Ryan Messer, who's led all of the laps all evening long, had the car to beat. Late in the going of this one, though, it's Tanton Wooldridge able to get on by and drive away. Coming into 3 and 4 underneath the flag stand, crossing the stripe. 3 laps to go now for Tanton Wooldridge, and it's up to 0.7 of a second over second place, able to drive away. It looks like the battle gonna be for second. Ryan Messer now holding on to it. He's opened up the door just briefly down on the bottom side, but up front, popsicle sticks. 2 laps to go for the young Tanton Wooldridge in the number 56 machine. The factory 56 ride just has to hit his marks and hope that we don't get a late race caution in this one. White flag, white rag, 1 lap to go for the number 56 car at Tanton Wooldridge. He's got 0.7 of a second lead over Ryan Messer. In behind him, Messer led most of the laps here tonight. I think the one car had the car to beat, but it's going to be the 56 taking that checkered flag. Tanton Wooldridge coming home with a big TCM Showcase win here in the 25-26 season. Great race here at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. Ryan Messer going to finish in second. Riley Duncan going to finish in third. Dylan Black and Riley Frost going to round out the top 10 here this evening. And a heck of a race here at Hickory Motor Speedway right off the rip. Going to see if we can talk to our third place finisher. Easy enough for me to say. I feel like we just talked to this guy for a podium finish. Riley Duncan in the 97. Riley, great race here tonight. What'd you see through the windshield?
Oh man, not much. I was I thought for sure I was gonna be a little closer there at the end, and I lost the lead. I was a little disappointed in that, but it was fun, hard racing. It was a good race. I enjoyed it.
Long green flag run here, and a couple of long green flag runs throughout, and a couple of pit stops throughout here as well, making it look easy here. Who's out there watching? Who gets you tuned from the virtual racetrack?
Of course, my girlfriend for letting me take the time and actually do this. My dad, Chris Duncan, Easy Clean, PFD Motorsports Designs for making an awesome paint, and that's about it.
Riley Duncan going to come home at P3, hard-fought podium here tonight. A little bit further up pit road, going to catch up with our second-place driver. Has had himself a handful of podiums over the past couple of weeks here on VidaneTV. Led a bunch of laps here tonight. Ryan, what else did you need to get back around that 56 car?
I think I needed to do his strategy and go with the 2 tires. That was probably one of the only, I can't count very many times where I've seen the 2 tires work better than 4. I was spinning loose at the flag stand, tight down into the center. Like, it was just not good that last 30 laps or so when I took 4. So I'll remember that for next time, maybe. No, he ran a great restart there. I didn't know if they were going to tangle or not. So it got a little physical there, and he stood his ground, and he got it done. So congrats to him.
Absolutely great racing throughout the evening here tonight. Going to kind of put a cap in the iRacing season, so to speak, and get things going for the real racing world. Who's out there watching? Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
Just give a shout out to my friends and family that are tuned in watching. I think there's some of them watching this thing, so shout out to them. You guys at Vidane for broadcasting these things, and shout out to Tim as well for putting these things on once again this off season.
Ryan Messer going to lead a whole bunch of laps here tonight. He's going to come home at second. Speaking of leading laps, this guy led the ones that counted. Tanton Wooldridge in that 56 car, very quick all evening long here at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. What did it take to get around that one car at the end there, Tanton?
Took some physicality there. Ryan was really good. I think he was probably the car of the race, just based on the line that he was running. He kind of run a line that I thought he was going to burn it up, and it never went away on him. So, yeah, he was probably the best car. So, tried to play the strategy quite well. Made up some track position in the pits, which was kind of crucial, and then didn't adapt quick enough on some of the restarts. The bottom was super slick, and he couldn't make the second gear work like he usually do. So, adapted later in the race to go to third gear, but lost the lead there a couple times on the bottom on those restarts, and things got pretty physical there with Riley. He was kind of shoving us up the racetrack, and just one thing I've been bad at in the past is kind of rolling over and letting that happen. So, kind of sent down in there into three and made a move and made it stick. So, just how we were able to close it at the end. Love racing with Riley and Ryan. It's been a fun season. So, yeah, just played the strategy right, made the right moves at the right times, and were able to get it done.
Made it look easy in that Factory 56 car, coming home with the big win here in the TCM Showcase. Who's out there watching? Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
Yeah, big thanks to my dad. He watches every race. My grandfather, he watches pretty well every race as well on here too. So, big thanks to them. Obviously, OL Motorsports getting ready to go racing in the real world with them pretty soon, and huge thanks tonight for Chris Walsh and Troy. They hopped in the session and didn't necessarily spot, but help give a little bit of information maybe on kind of what other guys were doing. So I'm trying to use that to better ourselves for the real life and kind of how I drive and how we can make the car work with it. So yeah, big thanks to everybody that tuned in, and obviously Tim putting these on all season long. You guys are doing the broadcast. It's fun and I enjoy it every winter. So looking forward to come back at it and doing it some more next year.
Communication, the name of the game in the 56 camp, coming home with the big win here in the TCM Showcase, and it's going to put a feather in the cap of the iRacing season here. Tim, we'll take a look at the finishing order. Next stop, Florida, right?
Well, next stop, Tim's Corner Live tomorrow night. We're going to do our show in memory of Steve Ross and tell some stories and have a good time. Craig Slomwaite's going to stop by and talk to Brian Northrup, Jordan Vino, and Mason Motorsports, and a few other guests that are going to stop by as well. So we're really looking forward to that one. Not because of the circumstance, but we're going to tell some stories and have a good time tomorrow night in memory of Steve Ross. And then, yeah, Charlotte, NX Banquet, a couple of Tim's Corner episodes in between them and Winter Nationals, and then Florida, and then who knows what we get into between then and our first race of the season at Scotia Speed World on the weekend after the 2-4 weekend. We got the kart race and everything else, all kinds of cool stuff coming up throughout the winter. But yeah, Tim's Corner Live tomorrow night, and then we actually we're on for the next 3 weeks for Tim's Corner Live. We got our Flagman show, and yeah, it's going to be a fun winter, even though we might be done the iRacing. I know Craig Tully and them are getting ready to start up RBR as well. So you may see us for a one-off maybe in March, but other than that, we're fast forwarding, looking forward to the real racing season.
Can't get here sooner enough, just like that warm weather we're waiting for, because it is cold here at VidaneTV HQ. Going to crank up the heat just a little bit. We'll be back Thursday night with the NAP series, but until then, we'll catch you on the flip side. And when we do, we are going to be doing it live.